Hello, today for review I've got another Chinese in-ear monitors, but this time they really stand out from the vast majority of other models from the China. These in-ear monitors are made by company Audiosense, and this model is T800, almost like Terminator's name. And what makes them really stands out is that here used the original nose balanced armatures, 8 drivers per each side, and Audiosense engineers worked with nose engineers to create a sound schema for these in-ear monitors. They are using 4 balanced armatures, 4 custom tuned balanced armatures for the mid frequencies, 2 vented balanced armatures for lows, and 2 balanced armatures for treble, if I remember right. So, and what is the best part here is the price. Usually some so-called well-known brand will ask for such in-ear monitors about $1,000. Some more modest companies could ask $500, but T800 are sold for $300 in the official AliExpress store. I will put a link into the description, and now let's have a closer look. Box is fairly simple, but it's done nicely. Outer sleeve has pleasant soft touch cover, and from other point of view, as proverbs say, don't judge the book by its cover. So, minimalistic polygraphy, and inside traditional black cardboard box. But when you unpack it, you will be pleasantly surprised. Inside everything is done really nicely. So let's see what papers we've got here. Some information and technical specifications. So if I got it right, it's actually here is English version, I don't see it. Sensitivity is 90 decibels, so as you can see they are pretty low sensitive, and at the same time impedance is only 9.2 ohms, so they require source with good current output to be driven properly. Noise isolation is 30 decibels, and frequency response from 5 Hz to 22 kHz, MM6 detachable cable, so everything is pretty traditional here. Earphones themselves came in stylish big plastic box. It reminds Pelican ones, and it's built really solidly, so they will be definitely protected from some shock, from water, from everything that you can imagine. Inside, let me carefully unpack it. Inside here is earpieces themselves. I don't like touching this material. I don't like this sound, not mine cup of tea. So earpieces themselves, and here in this box, as you can easily guess, you will have the accessory set. So, cleaning tool, 3 pair of foams, and 3 pair of silicone tips, as you can see, and of course the stock cable. So as you can see, accessory set is really nice. In terms of design and build quality, T800 are also really nice. They are 3D printed from high quality resin. It's medical resin, so they are hypoallergenic and so on. What you can expect from nice shells. Build quality is really solid. They actually remind the Fuse FA7, FA1 and other in-ear monitors that are made. Shell seems to be really solid inside, and they look probably more solid than the typical Chinese in-ear monitors. Inside you can see the drivers, pretty complicated schema, connectors, drivers. There are 3 sound boards for different frequencies, and they are joined here together and inside of the spout. Shape is really ergonomic, and they fit in nicely into the ears, providing pretty good sound isolation. Tubes have average length, but shells themselves are pretty big, so if you select the proper tips, you will have sound isolation a bit above average. So spouts have lip, but lip is really small, so but they're holding tips pretty well. So 1 and 2. Fit is nice, but of course it depends on your outer ear shape. For me it's perfect, but for small ears there could probably be some issues. Faceplates are made of carbon. Here is company's name, here is logo. Carbon has this signature 3D effect, so I think they look pretty attractive. And the stock cable also reminds one that is used by FIO. Maybe it's also made on same plant, not sure. It uses MM6 connectors, pretty good quality of connectors, nice well-defined click, and at the same time you don't have to pull it with super force to disconnect, but they are holding really well. Cable is good, it has ear hooks format, no memory wire inside, but these ear hooks are holding cable pretty well, providing you good secure fit. And cable itself, it's on the soft side. It's not super soft, but really nice. It's not getting hard when it's cold outside. It has almost zero microphonic effect. Sorry, once again train is crawling behind my window. Nice metal splitter, good chin slider, but you actually won't need it, and it goes braided well way down below to this angled jack, pretty convenient. So in terms of design and build quality, I can say that everything is really worth this price range. And of course about the sound, because who needs great build quality, stylish design and nice package with accessory set without the sound? Maybe some Beats fans only. So these in-ear monitors don't require burn-in, it's balanced armature, so if burn-in is present it's really short. But they require proper tip selection to find the ones that will isolate your ear channel in the best way, providing the best sound tuning. So for me it's just these regular silicone big ones, maybe for you some others. Kind of spoiler, I will soon be reviewing a lot of spin fit tips, and actually it's a nice option. And let's put some player on the table. Actually they don't require too much power, just a good amplification stage, and Norma is a great example of such source. So they are tuned to be audiophilic, they are really resolving, and clarity is the most impressive thing in their representation, but at the same time they manage to tick almost all the boxes required for the good in-ear monitors, and they definitely don't go to this dry monitoring natural sound. They are V-shaped or U-shaped, not sure which one is correct. Actually, are there any difference between V-shape and U-shape? You know, 5 years ago everyone was talking about V-shaped signatures. Now I see U-shape more, but for me it's kind of synonym. So they have accented low frequencies, but accent is done properly, and you know, there is not too much bass, but at the same time it's really punchy and forward, but at the same time it's not super elevated, but it's forward because of this punchiness. So you don't have tons of bass, but you will have nice kick, nice punch. Bass goes really deep, and it almost coming closer to the good dynamic driver hybrid models. It's rare for the balanced armature drivers, maybe because here used some vented drivers for the low frequencies. It has a really good speed, of course, it's balanced armatures at the end. Attacks and decays are a bit on the faster side, but at the same time, as I said, punch is here, body is here, and it really managed to build a solid foundation. I'm even not speaking about the resolution. Bass, of course, is a bit dominating in the representation, but not too much, because mids and bass are both resolving, so there is no bleeding onto mids, just a bit of domination because of this punch accent. And as an example, for the low frequencies, I thought which track I could use, but I decided to get Daft Punk, Random Access Memories, and Lose Yourself to Dance. It has a great bass line, and it definitely shines with these IEM monitors. They have good kick, good or punch kick, not sure basically what is better applied to the low frequencies, and at the same time, thanks to the resolution and micro contrast on the mid frequencies, the vocal and main instrument parts sound really prominent and noticeable. Bass transition pretty smoothly into the mids, and you know what is good about this in ear monitors? They are really coherent, and places where drivers overlap are almost not noticeable, so no big distortion in these places, no big bumps or drops, so really well done job in tuning those. And the mids are done in typical armature style, without accenting on the weight, without accenting macro contrast. They are a bit going into micro detailization, but just to provide, clarity and tons of overwhelming details. That's what we usually like in the balanced armatures. So don't expect super weighty mids, they are not to be tuned weighty, it's just natural, so they require really well recorded tracks to shine, and they are pretty critical to the quality of the recording. At the same time, you will have really good resolution, not some top of the line level, but really good for this price range, one of the most resolving in-ear monitors. And when track has emotions and when it has a good staging, you will get it. Speaking about the stage, it's noticeably above average both in width and in depth, and these in-ear monitors are really good in building three-dimensional stage. At the same time, with poor recordings, you will hear all the issues, you will hear compression, you will hear some mastering issues, so it's model for those who like to hear the best quality when it's present. As an example for the mid frequencies, it's Mussorgsky pictures from the exhibition, and it's Bydlo. Nice orchestral work with pretty well defined mid frequencies, with a lot of instruments playing simultaneously to provide this sense of the big symphonic orchestra, and this in-ear monitors really nail this record. And what I like in particular in this record, it's that there is in this record present audible sound from the audience, and it gives you additional sense of presence for at the concert and at the event. And treble, it's also a bit accented. For me, it stays below the level of comfort, but if you are treble sensitive, beware that they are going somewhere on this margin of being too spiky on the treble. For me, they are not crossing this line, but we all have different level of sensitivity to the treble. I really like treble extension here. It's not perfect, but really good. And I also like the weight of the treble. It's important, and that they have basic layering. It's of course not rich layering of some expensive models, but at least it's present here, and it gives you really nice sense of realism on the treble. And treble have good resolution, of course, and a bit faster attacks and decays, also typical for the balanced armatures. So they sound really airy and really crisp with a lot of overtones. Female vocals are superb with them, but male ones are also pretty nice, especially if it's not the lowest male voices. And as an example for the treble, I've got another song from Vladimir Kosma soundtracks, Le Compres, you heard this song, definitely we heard all that songs and we've seen all that perfect French comedies, and this one has nice added whistle sounds and a lot of really airy synthesizers and string instruments that goes really high in the treble area, and these in-ear monitors manage to play them really nicely and gives you sense of this crispness and airiness that requires for such tracks. As for source, they don't require something superb, just source with output impedance close to zero, because they have low impedance and enough of driving power to drive low impedance loads, and probably nice black background, but actually sensitivity of these in-ear monitors aren't high, so you won't require something really dark and black in terms of background. So almost all modern sources will be pretty okay. Speaking about genres, of course they are better tailored for some audiophilic recordings, for something that is recorded properly, but actually I showed an example for Daft Punk, it sounds really great. Electronic music, classical rock, I actually like heavy metal, but only the proper recorded one. Actually it's ultra rare beast like 4-leaf clover, and properly recorded metal, it's something that often come together. Actually pretty universal in terms of genre, but please keep in mind that they are critical to the quality of the recording. And of course a few words about comparisons, just few models that I can recall. If I will miss some models that seems to be logical for you, just ask in the comments and I will try to do the comparison, or at least write few words. So, probably most obvious, at least for me, it's Fearless S6 Rui. Pretty, maybe not 100% close, but pretty close in terms of price range, but Fearless tuned in different way. They are tuned to be more weighty, especially on the mids. It's noticeable they are less resolving but more weighty, and actually in this case it's a matter of preferences, I can't say which one is better, and they have less treble, so Fearless is more preferable option for those who don't like treble, for example. BGVP, DM6 and DM7 are also tuned in a bit different ways. They have less treble, they have more bass, but at the same time it's a bit less punchy, so just different. If we compare them with Audiosense, BGVP is a bit darker. They're not dark themselves, they are darker than these ones. Fio's FA7, for example, it looks similar, but it has really different tuning. It has much more accent on the bass and lower mid, so they sounding warmer with more forward lower part of sonic spectrum. Well, maybe there are some other models, but I won't try to recall them right now. So it was Audiosense T800, and it's a pretty good, well-tuned model for those who like detalization and nice punchy bass at the same time. Thank you for attention.